going to show you exactly the colours I used to create this beautiful bay colour on this horse. Now, this horse isn't actually a bay, she's actually a skewbald. So that is a white and brown horse. And when you've got this such beautiful, vibrant bay colour, it's important to find the undertones before you reach for those darker tones. So I've actually got all the pencils here on the right hand side of what I've used to create all of this section here. So I'm going to start from the beginning. So the first pencil that I would have put down is the Caran Luminance Brown Ochre 10%. This is a beautiful layer of pencil. It's like a creamy brown, really pale. It's what this colour is at the top here. It's mixed in with other colours, but it's the one that I'll reach for to bring out those highlights. It's absolutely stunning, and it works really well because it's wax based. It works really well with the Polychromos and also the studios that I've used as well. It acts like a grippy layer, and I use this a lot as my base layers, especially with like brown and bay animals. And then if I'm going to work on a zone here, so say for example we're going to work on this top part here, what I would have gone in with next is more than likely the raw Umber Derwent Studio. Now, you can't pick up these pencils anymore. They did discontinue them last year or the year before, but you can still pick up the Derwent Artist range, and it's the exact same pencils but in a round barrel, and you get a lot more in them than what you did. If you can look at the thickness here, like it's so much thinner on these studios. Now, one thing to note with the studio or the artist, they don't blend well, so you have to do this quite gently to bring that in. The gentler you are with your layers, the more you'll get in of this pencil, and you'll get a lot out of it. My next go-to pencil colour here will have been probably a touch of the burnt ochre Polychromos. And I would have gone into, especially like these sort of zones here, would have done this really lightly. And this is quite a browny orange. Almost, it can sometimes react quite green at times as well, depending on the colours that you're mixing it with. But this is a really beautiful colour to use for a bay or a skewbald horse. Next, I would have gone in with the Venetian red, and then I would have gone in there with the copper beech. So that would have brought out like this sort of tone here, this like really creamy brown colour. It's absolutely stunning. These two really work well together. Again, you can't get them in the studio range anymore, but you can get these as the artist. So Derwent Studio Artist, which is these ones. I still have so many of these because just before they discontinued, I bought loads of them because this is actually one of my favourite brands of pencil. They have such beautiful colours in there that if you learn how to mix with them, they work really well in the in your pencil commissions or your drawings. It's something that I teach on my Patreon channel, how to use these pencils. The next colour I would have gone in would have been a touch of the burnt sienna. Now this line, if I just move this down a little bit so you can see, this line here underneath the brow band that hasn't been drawn yet, there is not a touch of black there. This is all being created using the other pencils that are in my pot. So I would have used a bit of burnt sienna coming along the top here. You can see this burnt sienna being used all along the top. It's absolutely beautiful, really vibrant, and it really pulls out a redness, like a rich red from your bay horses. And then I would have then used a little bit of the Caput Mortem Violet, especially underneath this brow band here, just to add like a touch of purple, because you'll find blacks are not they're not universal as just a black colour. You've got purples and blues and all different like hues in there. So I like to use the Caput Mortem Violet, especially like coming down the edge here. This has been used quite a lot. And you can kind of just see a touch of it just round in this sort of section here. It adds a little bit more depth to your colours. It's a colour that you wouldn't ever think to use, but it's really beautiful in a bay horse. Next, I probably would have gone in again with a little bit of the burnt yellow ochre and the raw umber Derwent Studio, just to kind of add a little bit of the orangey mix in there, along with like this colour here is what this raw umber is when you mix it with the Caran Luminance. It's like a greeny brown, but it's beautiful. It's wonderful for those highlights. And then the last two pencils I would have used, or last three pencils, I would have used the Walnut Brown, a little bit in the darker zones here. This reacts really well with the rest of the pencils underneath there. You get sort of like this purpley, dark brown haze. Bay horses in particular, when their coats are changing, they go through like this grey stage. You can see it just at the top here, and this kind of blends really nicely into that grey stage, and this has been used a lot under the brow band, and into this corner here. I would have used a tiny bit of the Nougat just over the top, just to add a little bit more of that brown hue. You want that lift in the pencil work. I haven't used it a lot. This is something I will have glazed over the top. And the last pencil, which is quite important for a bay horse, is a pink colour. A lot of people don't notice those pinks, but pink is so important for your bay horses because it adds in, it's a highlight. So this cinnamon is the one that I go for the most with bay horses. And you can kind of see it in this sort of zone in particular here. You can see a little touch of it there. And again, there's like a small section of it up here. And these pencils I use every single time for bay horses. If I bring these back in for you, these are my go-to bay horse colours every single time, almost without fail. I don't think there's another pencil in my pot that I would use. These are just absolutely stunning. So if you're looking for those colours, these are the ones that you want to mix and play with a bay horse. And it's interesting that there is only just one Luminance. The rest of them are Polychromos or studios. But do be aware, your studio pencils do struggle to blend with other pencils. They don't want to blend very well. So I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of those colours that you can reach for in your pot. Some colours in there that you may not have thought of before, ever used before. And if you are looking for in-depth tutorials, I teach on Patreon, and it's free for 7 days. It's always going to be free for 7 days. And I also have a offer at the moment where you could get 15% off your first month after that point. And you can learn how to draw horses like Betty. We have a couple of horses on there already, and I teach in both colour and graphite. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below. I would love to answer them for you. And let me know how you get on if you go in and use these colours yourself.